Talk Radio, Warchant TV on Libations Friday. Great to be with you as always. For clarification or purposes of being transparent, it is taped today. Cameron's show is not live as it normally is. It is same day. It is just hours ago, but on the road this weekend yet again. So it's been a busy February. As Tom has kind of alluded to, this is the month where those of us on staff at Warchant or do a sports talk show like this one, this is your, I know it's Super Bowl, and we're going to talk about that, but it's your deadish time for Florida State football. And football has become a year-round thing, even in college now. So you got to take advantage of those, makeshift long weekends, the things that you can do, try to get out of town. I'm doing it. I'm going off to St. Augustine and see Preservation Hall Jazz, and going to have a good time doing that. But we wanted content for you. You'll have Lee Sterling this hour, my mother next hour. Let's talk about the game. Let's talk about the teams. Let's talk about who we're picking, who we're betting on, who we're having fun with. I will say this. Tom, I ask, and people will hear it in the next segment, but I did that interview with Lee yesterday, and I asked him at one point, and I've brought this up on the air for years. It's going on. It's years. I don't understand. Kelce must be the greatest tight end to ever live, because all the time I say, everybody knows he's getting the ball, and nobody ever stops him from getting the ball. Ever. And I've heard a ton of defensive coordinators and others say, well, they'll bracket him, they'll do this. No, they don't. Nobody ever does anything. He has his catches. He gets 10. I know the Bucs had success against him. The Bucs were so overwhelmingly good that year, and Kansas City was riddled with injury. Let's be fair. He was running for his life back there, and still Mahomes showed how good he was, making impossible throw after impossible throw. But I asked the question because it's so annoying, and it's almost impossible to see a game where you don't expect him to get 10 catches. But I was thinking about this game, and I was thinking about how I think it's going to go. And then I started thinking about how every one of us is picking the Chiefs. And I looked at ESPN.com and saw that they had a list of 40-something people who picked the game, and like 35 of them picked Kansas City. And I went to all of the places that I go to kind of put together as much information as possible when I make my own bets. And you'd go to NFL.com, and then you go to all the other sites, whether it's CBS Sports or Fox Sports or SI or wherever you want to go, and the Atlantic and the Ringer and all these different places. And it comes out like 78% of the people who talk about football for a living are like, oh no, it's Mahomes, it's the Chiefs, it's Kelce, they're going to win. And now I want to take San Francisco. Now I feel like I want to take San Francisco. Kansas City is 31st against rushes versus zone run blocking. So if you get into the advanced numbers and you see that stat and you realize that San Francisco, that's what they do. That's a zone run blocking scheme. And you realize that McCaffrey is, was in the discussion for the MVP of the league. Maybe that's how I asked, when I said to bring it all back, when I said to Lee that nobody covers Kelce, why is Kansas City not favored in this game, et cetera. Maybe they're favored because San Francisco is favored because people think they're going to run the ball.
That would be, and that is where it goes to the under and the total. I think both teams want to run the ball, control the clock.
Me too.
I think San Francisco does more than Kansas City.
They need to because they're going to protect their quarterback.
But Andy Reid has shown in these playoffs that he's okay with playing a slower pace because he knows he doesn't have the horses like he did earlier in this run of Super Bowl glory that Kansas City's had. So that makes a ton of sense to me. I could see that. I think Kansas City's been a little bit more improved against the run. Now, Baltimore, that's a scheme issue. That's a scheming issue where Baltimore stayed away from it. But Kansas City wasn't awful against stopping the traditional run against Buffalo. They were awful at stopping Josh Allen running the football. And while Brock Purdy's mobile, he ain't Josh Allen. So that would be the interesting rub here is like where on the scale of what Buffalo did, which was moderate success with James Cook, and Baltimore, no success whatsoever with the traditional tailbacks. does San Francisco succeed? Is Christian McCaffrey and this offensive line on a different level? We're going to find out.
Well, Kittle is the best blocking tight end in football.
Yep.
McCaffrey is one of the 3 best backs in football.
Right.
The offensive line has run the ball all year long. It's going to have to be the game plan. And unlike Baltimore, Shanahan won't forget about it. He's going to want to do it. And now to your point, Spags is a very good defensive coordinator, and he will do a lot to shake Brock Purdy. But if you can run, now what they'll do is they'll stack the box. And they did that against Baltimore early, and they did that against everybody who they knew could run the ball against them. At some point, they give in and stack the box. You know why they do that? You've pointed it out this week, and I'll reiterate for people. This is why this is a great Super Bowl, They have 2 elite corners. Their secondary is number 1 in the league in terms of passing yards given up against other teams' wide receiver 1. So they're number 1 in the league. They don't give up a ton of yards. You could say Zay Flowers was having a big day, but one's a fluky play, and the other is a play in which it's 9 seconds that Lamar has the ball and is running around, and they finally give up the long touchdown. So, I mean, Zay's really good.
And you'll give up a big play. That's no big deal. It's about consistent success. And real quick to interject, I'm not saying that San Francisco's run is going to get shut down. I'm saying that it needs to succeed beyond a normal success rate. Like, it needs to be really good in order to drive the bus here to a victory. So it's like, to what extent are they going to be successful? I think helps determine San Francisco's chances to win. I think they're going to be successful, but are we talking 4.4 yards a carry? We talking 5.8 yards per carry? Like, these are the hidden numbers and the yardages where I think it could put San Francisco over the top. I will say also quickly, you know what happens when the box is stacked. You do allow for big plays in the run game too. Because if you
miss a tackle,
or you miss, I mean, like McCaffrey, if you don't stay in your stupid, like I say stupid because he's so gifted. If you don't stay in your lane, he will make you look stupid.
Yeah,
and cut back against the grain because you lost contain and it's a 40-yard run.
Yeah,
and there's nobody helping you because it's almost like a goal line situation where you make one dude miss and you're out the gate. So the question is, though, how often are they going to be in 2nd and 6 and 2nd and 4? I think San Francisco is going to hit some big plays, but I think the red zone is going to be a little bit tough to score in for both teams. And then the question is, is McCaffrey plus perhaps a healthy Deebo Samuel enough on the ground for San Francisco to dictate terms?
I love this matchup. I do. I think, again, it's hard to pick against Patrick Mahomes. I'm tired of hearing people say that, but it's true. It's why they say it. Look, the guy, I mean, listen, they were if you look at points scored in all of their seasons where they won the Super Bowl, one year they were first, one year they were fourth, one year they were second. Even the year they got crushed by the Bucs, that was injury related. Oh, and the Bucs were very good, and Tom Brady doesn't suck. But that team scored a ton of points that year. Kansas City did. Yeah. It's interesting. They're 15th in the league this year in points. They weren't, that offense was pretty average, almost the definition of average. And they found other ways to do it, namely with their defense. And then Mahomes is still clutch, in the last, if you give him the ball late, he's a guy that will make plays, as we know.
So I've got numbers for you on Travis Kelce because I know, the theory is he's one of the greats of all time. Now, I will dig up some numbers on, say, like Gronk. It would be the only comp in the playoffs to Kelce, right? As a tight end. I don't think there's anybody who's played enough games to even be on the level of Travis Kelce in numbers and per game averages. So he's played 21 games in his postseason career. What I did was I whittled those 21 games down to an old school 16 game average. I get it's a 17 game season.
Yeah, these days. That's right.
I did some cross multiply and divide, and here you go. Here is Travis Kelce in a 16 game postseason for his career: 118 catches, 1,379 yards, and roughly between 14 and 15 touchdowns.
That's ridiculous.
Yes.
That's ridiculous. I'm telling you, I get mad watching it. I'm like, guys, he's going to throw to Kelce. I sound like and this was going to be an insult because women have come a long way in understanding football. They're now our equals as football fans if they care to invest. But that wasn't that way growing up. That way, when I grew up, there weren't a lot of girls watching football. There just wasn't. My mom was one of them, and I thought it was awesome that she did. But one of the things that when we were like grade school boys, would tease girls about is they would say the simplest thing. It's kind of like fans that would say, call the touchdown play, or when your kids are young and they say,
oh man,
why do they run the ball up the middle?
Plenty of dudes in the stands at Doak that are saying that's the touchdown play stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then I would, and when my kids were young, they'd be like, I don't understand why they run the ball in the middle. Everybody's in the middle. Why would you give it to them there? Don't run the ball in the middle. And I would laugh, and I'd be like, you're setting something up. They're poking and they're prodding, and then in time they're going to do something off of that, son. And you try to explain the greater theory. I sound like those people, like the girls I made fun of, the little kids who say that, the dudes in the stands. I'm like, he's going to throw it to Kelce. Why doesn't somebody guard Kelce? They're going to throw it to Kelce. And it happens every time. That's what we're reduced to. You're like, all right, first play from scrimmage. That's an 8-yard catch for Kelce. Wide open. Nobody around him. Nobody. That's the thing. Like, if you were going to end up making a case for Kelce to be the greatest tight end of all time, and I don't think he is, but he's trending in that direction. Jesus. You would say, why is he always wide open? Like, it's ridiculous. He's open that often. Like, Gronk would catch balls because he was fast, and for that size, he was very fast, but he was also giant. And so you could smother him and he would still make catches. He's too big, too strong type thing, right? It was always sort of a mouse in the house type of thing, like in basketball. Half of Kelce's catches seem to be just nobody's on the screen with him. I don't understand it, ever.
So I'm pulling up some of the numbers here really quickly, and I got Gronk's receptions. I did quick math on that. Receiving yards, it's 1,010 if you're doing the same math that I was doing for Travis Kelce. And the catches are going to be way lower because in 22 career games, you don't even have to do the math here. In 22 career games in the postseason, he's got 98 catches. So that's going to come significantly down.
Yeah.
So you can just say, without finishing the math, the greatest postseason tight end that ever lived is Travis Kelce. If you're just talking about receiving production. Now, you throw in Gronk's ability to block, and we've got ourselves a debate about total value at the position because Gronk is a mother in terms of blocking.
A monster, and that's why I rate him as the greatest tight end of all time. He was another offensive lineman. You couldn't – he took pride in it, and he threw you out the club. My man was not having it. He would embarrass people. There are countless Gronk blocks. When you pull up the great YouTube highlight reels that people put together, there are Gronk blocks that make you feel funny. You're kind of like, ooh, look at that. It's just hilarious. Now, I will also say this. Kittle is that way. Now, Kittle isn't the same receiver. He's a very good receiver. Very, very good receiver. Yeah. But he takes great pride in mauling people. And it's the reason I love him too. I want my tight ends to maul people. Kelce is more of a receiver.
And the thing was, after the Bucs were blowing out the Chiefs, he did rack up some numbers, buddy. He had a quiet 10 for 133 in the Super Bowl where they got destroyed by the Bucs.
Kelce did?
10 catches, 133. And he had a huge drop, as I recall, in the first half, which has plagued him more this season, but he had a big-ass drop in the first half because that was, in my opinion, I haven't watched his whole career, the most impressive game of Patrick Mahomes' life. Was
unbelievable. The throws he makes. Yeah, he's sidearming, he's parallel, yeah.
It's Neo in the Matrix. Like, literally, I said that Jameis' brain was like Neo in the Matrix, and that's what got Jimbo all excited in somewhat an unhealthy way. But this, for Mahomes, was literally Neo acting in the Matrix because he's flying around doing crazy stuff. I think this game projects to be much more controlled on both sides.
Sure.
Like, Purdy can make some plays now. It's not that Purdy is coming unequipped for the fight. Some of the throws he makes, like in a game of 30 throws, his best 3 are alarmingly good. Like his best 3 are very, very good.
Yeah.
And then he's shown the legs in the NFC Championship game where he's smart enough and he's quick enough to make some mistake by a defense 12 yards or 15 yards, not like 6 in a slide like Brady would do, like 12 yards, 15 yards at a time. So he's not unequipped for the fight. But, man, I don't think you're going to be seeing weird, awesome stuff from the quarterbacks. I think this is going to be standard. Basic throws, basic concepts, run it early, play action. This is going to be a little bit more old school, I think.
That matchup is the matchup. The mistake that people make all the time when they on the debate shows is they compare quarterback to quarterback as if like they're competing against each other, instead of the defense that they're facing. And it doesn't account for the other team's weapons and all that other stuff. Mahomes enters this Super Bowl not only having won it multiple times, it's experience in spades, right? Versus a wide-eyed kid who was drafted last overall in the 7th round. And it's one of the reasons that he doesn't get the respect that he's earned on the field now as a player is because we remember when he was drafted and we hear about it a lot. And he looks like he's 12. And they are a well-coached team. Shanahan is considered to be an elite coach. And then you consider the weapons. And people use all those things oddly against Purdy when talking about his ability. Like, oh, well, he has this. It was a ready-made situation. He had, all these things. He's 7th rounder. Purdy's interesting to me. How he handles this will be very interesting because how do you know? How do you know how you're going to handle your first Super Bowl? You can't know. And he looked wide-eyed and a little flustered. Certainly against Green Bay he was. Mm-hmm. Now, I think that had more to do with the fact that it was raining, and he does not like throwing the football in the rain, but he didn't have to worry about that here. And, it's funny. Quarterbacks, there have been some great ones. Troy Aikman comes to mind. He hated throwing the ball in the rain because for all of his ability, and he's a big guy, he had small hands, and he had a hard time gripping the ball. Purdy does too. It was kind of the knock against him. Even when they were evaluating him in the draft, was like he did a lot of things well enough to pique people's interest in about the 6th round. And they thought, that system at Iowa State was terrible. He was pretty average. It's a defensive-minded group. He didn't have the big numbers. He's got small hands. All of that was put out there, but that doesn't matter in perfect conditions. Excuse me. How does he handle the emotions here? This is one of the lone times where I will say that, because a lot of times they'll talk to you about, well, what does it mean having been there? What does that experience do for you? Well, the Chiefs are always there, and Mahomes has handled all of this.
Yeah.
It might make a difference in this one game. It might make a difference.
I don't think it makes a difference for the coach. I know that there's a lot of pressure on Kyle Shanahan. There's more pressure on Kyle Shanahan in this game than there is on Andy Reid.
Sure.
Andy Reid once lived that pressure in Kansas City, but then he got over the hump, and that's where Kyle Shanahan is. But I'd like to remind everybody that Jimmy Garoppolo was one deep completion away from winning the Super Bowl and beating these Chiefs. Like Shanahan did get them in that position with Jimmy G. That was a fun game. There were some mistakes along the way, but in the end, Jimmy G lets a pass go. It's down the field, cameras panning right to left, and if it's caught, then Kyle Shanahan already has a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The one concern I have from the coaching perspective is the clock management of one Kyle Shanahan. I've got no doubt that Mahomes and Reid in a 2-minute drill in the first half, going into that long break at halftime for the concert, they know what the hell they're doing. Shanahan has proven that he is rough in that particular
He's conservative. It's the weirdest thing. He doesn't like to take chances.
Correct.
He doesn't push the envelope. It's less about not understanding the time and more about making a decision to not utilize it.
Well, but you have to wonder, for somebody that advanced, do you not understand what you have before you? And because you've got every other base covered. The blind spot for coaches is just the most amazing thing to me in the game. It's consistently there with clock management. Yeah. And for all the things we have about what to do on 4th and 3 from your own 47-yard line in the first quarter of a 4-point game, how is it that this is not down to a science on a card for somebody to just be consulted and say, this is what you do, timeout now, timeout now? They don't do it. And if you believe that this game is going to be close, like if you believe that the spread is correct, that it's within a field goal, man, that can be the difference. That was what I'm sure a lot of Scuttlebucks listeners, I know a couple of my buddies were about down in Tampa when we were doing that show. They were so effing tired of us talking about Arians clock management. But man, when it comes down to these little details in a Super Bowl, now thankfully we blew their ass out.
Yeah, it wasn't close.
But if it comes down to that kind of stuff, that matters. That matters. Yeah. And the operation for Kansas City is a little smoother there.
part of evaluating a coach, the entirety of a coach. It's what does he do well, what does he do poorly, and everything in between. I think when you harp on something, you're only pointing out. Look, we both think Kyle Shanahan is as good as they get as a play caller, and his scheme is awesome. And look, they're going to be in this position a lot, because he's a really good coach. It's odd that over the course of this season, I thought San Francisco through much of this year was the best team in football, and for a stretch, it wasn't close. It's only been late that they've looked very vulnerable, and that's largely been because of the defense falling to pieces. And it's weird to watch Wilkes' group look like this. I don't know. Really go back to San Francisco getting manhandled by Baltimore at the end of the year, late in this year, on the Monday Night Football game. Now, there were 5 interceptions in that game. And if San Francisco played Baltimore again in that same situation, I'd probably still pick San Francisco. I would have, anyhow. Now I'm not so sure. I would have probably picked San Francisco, because you're not going to throw 5 interceptions. I mean, that was bizarre. Batted balls and weird things happening all over the place. But it seems like from that moment on, they've been a mess. And yet they're here. And that's largely because Shanahan's done a good job. You have to go win the game. You've got to go back and go win the game. They came back. Listen, in their last 4 possessions against Detroit, they scored 24 points. Yeah. I mean, that's doing some things, but they had to, right? Because they were in a bad position. I agree with you with the clock management stuff. To me, he makes conservative choices. I don't think it's that he's lost in terms of time, timeouts, score. It's just he's coach is scared.
Yeah, you probably because the clock's ticking. You're at the plus 46, and you're just letting the clock tick. Like, that's insane. That's insane to me. I think in the end, it's right. It's rooted in conservative beliefs there. Yeah, which is nuts. But the thing is, like, where you got to praise Kyle Shanahan, you're correct. I'm sure there are more examples. McVay for a minute's done this. Peyton has done this at New Orleans, as much as I give him Raz. Like, a lot of times, great quarterbacks have you off balance. Like Aaron Rodgers, when he's in a rhythm, there's nothing you can do. It's God mode, and Mahomes has been this way. I guess Breeze did it for Peyton more than Peyton did it for Breeze. But, like, not since John Gruden have you had somebody who consistently, with quarterbacks that you just kind of pull off the scrap heap in theory, because Shanahan's done it with Garoppolo. Matt Ryan's a good quarterback, but he was an MVP under Kyle Shanahan. Like, Shanahan's got a track record here of making whatever he has turn into this other thing, to where a D coordinator is just completely off balance and catching strays. Like, it's nuts. But we'll see how it all plays out, because, again, the game plan for Kansas City is simple. You stack the box, and let's see what we can get. If Purdy can beat us over the top, so be it. We're giving you that right away at kickoff on Sunday night.
He's going to have opportunity after opportunity, because I think early they're going to try to run. Kansas City's going to try to stop that run, because they know that's how San Francisco can win the game, is to put it in the hands of Christian McCaffrey. And the run game takes pressure off their young quarterback, keeps the ball out of Mahomes' hands, all of the things, right? And that's got to be the game plan. All right, well, I got to imagine Spags is like, forget that. You're not doing that. You're not going to get out here running the ball and holding on to it for 8 minutes. We're not doing all that. Beat us over the top. Well, I mean, that's all you can ask for if you're a wide receiver, if you're a tight end like Kittle, and if you're a quarterback. That's all you ever want, is one-on-one. You mean I don't have to worry about any, like, disguises? I don't have to worry about games. You're going to give me one-on-one on the outside? Kansas City has repeatedly told people, yep, that's what we're going to do, because our corners are better than your receivers. And that's been the whole season for them. Second half of the season that's Kansas City in a nutshell.
Well, and sometimes you need to get a little lucky along the way. We know San Francisco is one of the luckier Super Bowl participants in a while, but hey, Diggs, you catch that ball, and Kansas City's watching this game, and Buffalo's playing in this game.
Man, still angers me for a guy who talks all that trash and always shows up as quarterback. My man throws one 70 yards in a freaking 20-degree day in a blizzard, and you can't catch. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports. Let's get some picks in here, some props and the like. We'll do it next on the Jeff Cameron Show.
Excellence defines us, so we'll never let orthopedic pain and injury define you. TOC is a physician-led team of fellowship-trained specialists providing the highest level of orthopedic care in the region. With 12 centers of excellence, and TOC Now urgent care clinics, our patients access affordable expert care fast. TOC, only experts. Schedule an appointment at teamtoc.com.
Hello, I'm Jimmy Fasig.
And I'm Dana Brooks of Fasig Brooks Law Offices.
When you're in an accident, traffic cameras can be the best source of evidence to prove who's at fault.
That's why Fasig Brooks has partnered with RoadProof to have access to all their traffic camera footage.
With RoadProof, we can search our network of traffic cameras to find the evidence that could help you win your case.
Call us today to see if we can help find the proof to help you come back stronger.
Call us now at 850-777-7777.
If you've been waiting and waiting, perfect time to buy your new house, you'll be waiting forever. This is Shannon Young with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, and I have been a mortgage lender for over 20 years. And I can tell you that there is no such thing as perfect timing. So take the first step towards your new home and let me show you what that really looks like. Chances are very high that you'll be very surprised at what I can help you do. When rates go low, prices go high, and that home that you've been eyeballing could be gone. If you're wondering how the drop in interest rates is going to affect your payment, give me a call. I'll be more than happy to show you all of the options available to get you into your new home. And for every single loan that we close for a fellow Knoll, I will personally donate $250 per closing to the Battle's End. Let's do this together and let's keep climbing. Call me today at 954-369-6171. That's 954-369-6171. Or you can find me online at loansforknolls.com. That's loansforknolls.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 373031.
Keeping power reliable and affordable here in Florida is our most important commitment. At Duke Energy, we're working across our communities, strengthening our systems, rerouting power to help avoid outages, and adding proven innovations that will help make the grid stronger and more secure today and ready for tomorrow. Because Florida deserves more reliable and affordable power, and we're determined to deliver it. Paid for by Duke Energy shareholders.
I'm Caleb. I'm the lawn supervisor at Paul's Termite and Pest Control, and I really do love my job. Paul's has created an incredible work environment that always puts our customers' needs first. Their needs are our concerns, and my particular job of improving the health of North Florida lawns is something I truly enjoy. I'm an outdoor person, and I get to be outside all day, watching the lawns run through the stages full of weeds to weedless to lush, grass-filled landscapes is very rewarding. I'm proud to represent Paul's.
I'm Jay. Having the privilege to work with people like Caleb and all of our employees is truly an honor. There is no doubt that the staff of Paul's Termite and Pest Control is the best in our industry. All of our people are local, and local really does mean something. We are North Floridians. Our kids go to school here. We shop here. We build relationships here, and we honor our commitments. To all of our customers, thanks for trusting us to protect your family, pets, and home.
For the elimination of termites, any other pests, and a greener lawn too, call Paul's. We'll get them all.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com. Super Bowl time. That means we bring in my man Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports. Let's do it up. It is an annual experience. And Lee, we've been doing this like 20 years together. It's crazy how many years have gone by. Yep. But the props have just grown and grown and grown. It's out of control now. When I look at the sheet, it used to be, it was like 2 sheets. Now it's like 10 sheets, Lee. And a veteran like yourself, you can remember where there were like 3 props. Now there are hundreds.
Do you know what the first prop was?
No.
It was William Refrigerator Perry. Well,
that's right.
Touchdown. And I happened to be, I was in Tahoe when it happened, went with my dad and a bunch of their friends. When he crashed across the goal line, place went crazy. So that was one of the rare instances where Vegas and offshore lost some money, but they're doing okay. They put out, I think I counted 580 of them this year.
580, and they keep growing. You know, one of the things I learned, Lee, I didn't know this. I know you know it. I didn't realize that a lot of the places in Vegas will listen to suggestions. like just customers, bettors will come in. They don't,
Right.
I'm not saying on the spot, but they'll say, hey, have you ever thought about doing this? And they get 1,000 suggestions or more. Most of them stink. Most of them aren't doable, but occasionally they'll hear one and they'll go, yeah, we can do that. We'll put together something like that. And so that's why they just keep growing.
Yeah. And they want you to bet more props. The reason is usually the VIG on prop plays is 15% or 20% juice. So you just add that up. Never forget this. I had a friend of mine. We were out in Vegas one time for the Super Bowl. And I said, how'd you do on your props? He goes, hold on a second. It's going to take me a little while to figure it out. He bet 37 props and he was 20-17, but he lost money.
He lost money.
But he had a whale of a time watching the game. He couldn't, I mean, it took him probably 10, 15 minutes to figure them all out, whether he won or lost.
It's amazing these days. You live in Florida, so you're well aware of the Hard Rock app that people use and all of that now. I mean, it's all throughout the state. You don't just have to go to your bookies anymore or out to Vegas or Atlantic City. Everybody's got it on their phone now, and I sometimes if I'm bored, especially in the playoffs, but going towards the Super Bowl, I'll just sit there and go through them. Like, yep, I'll do that one. Yep. And I forget about them. And then the game ends. And I'm like, oh, I
won. or you hit, I've had a couple friends hit the wrong wager and they find out they won. So
yeah,
I've been going to games lately and I've noticed since the Hard Rock app came back on, and I'm finding games like I was at the Panthers game and the Heat game this week. And I'm watching kids, 20 and 30-year-olds in my section, in-game wagering, especially player props. I mean, in-game wagering as far as, over-under in the game is fun, but they love the player props. So it's just going to keep growing. And once Florida came on, one of the big 3 states, we knew it was going to take off even more.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get to some of the fun props, Lee. We've got fun props, regular props, and then I want your predictions on the game. And, of course, you're famous for your daughter's unbelievable renditions of the national anthem, and thus she has keen insight as to the length of these other singers' efforts. And so we always get your prediction for that too, which is pretty cool because I think you've won that one more than any other one. I mean, I guess your daughter is all over it.
She's won 9 years in a row. I mean, I've won 7 out of 10 Super Bowls. I'll never. I mean, she's going for 10 in a row. I mean, that's almost unheard of. But she takes it really serious. She probably spent 3 or 4 hours studying it last Saturday. So, and what's interesting about it, there's been a bunch of singers, been almost nothing out there. I mean, maybe one national anthem. She started singing, I think, in 1976. She was like 17 or 18 years old. She sang at a rodeo. So here's what she says in brief. She says she clips a lot of the end notes. Now, my daughter starts on a D. She starts singing on a D. I don't even, I couldn't tell you. My daughter can hear someone start a note. She goes, oh, that's like an F flat or something like that.
Right, yeah.
So my daughter starts on a D. She said when she started in the 80s, singing a lot of these, she was at a C, then a B. She's singing, she starts at an A. And very rarely has she gone over the posted number of 90 and a half. 3 of the last 5 have gone over 2 minutes in length. She doesn't see it. She thinks it's going under 90 and a half seconds. So I'm going to trust her on this. All right.
I like it. We're going to take the under on 90 and a half seconds right out the gates here on the national anthem. All right. Fair enough. What else do you like, by the way? I always let you pick and choose because I know you devoured the sheet and looked at everything. And what do you think some of my listeners should jump on?
All right, we got to have one Taylor Swift bet. And will she hug Travis Kelce's mother? I'm not going to into that. Will they show her from the start of the game, kickoff, to the end of the game? How many times? Now, when we see Eli and Peyton Manning, when they were playing in a Super Bowl, how many times will they show their brother? It was like 2.5. Mm-hmm. They would show him usually once. The number almost always is under. I think they're going to feel a lot of pressure to not show her all the time. I think they'll show her 2 or 3 times tops. We'll go under 5.5 appearances from Taylor Swift being shown during the game. Now, who knows? They even have wagers. Will he propose, after the game?
Good Lord.
Can you imagine? I
Yeah.
know.
What are the odds on
You know,
that, by the way? What do you get for that?
It just gets out of my realm.
Yeah.
But there is one interesting. They haven't put out the player props yet on the cross bets from one football to like basketball or hockey, things like that. But there's one. They have the doink camera. They install that on the goalposts, so you can bet whether they will hit the crossbar or one of the goalposts on a missed field goal or extra point. It's plus 400. If you want to take that, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say minus 500. I don't see it happening. Buckner, I mean, he is usually, right down the middle. And Jake Moody for San Francisco, if he misses, I think he's going to miss. It won't even be close.
Yeah, if he misses badly. Yeah, it's not hitting the upright. Also, the odds of that are just, I don't know. I would need more juice than that. I'd need plus 800, plus 900, something like that to make it interesting. I don't think
if you're going to bet it and take a shot, but why not put 50 or $100 on there? I think it's a free $10 to $20. Now, as far as player props, I believe that San Francisco wants to make sure they don't fall behind like the last game. If they fall behind, like they did to Green Bay or Detroit, it's going to be over. Look what Kansas City did. They scored the first 2 drives, and they just took the foot off the gas. Andy Reid said, I'm just going to make sure I win the game. I think we're going to see under 246.5 passing yards from Brock Purdy. How about this? Everyone talks about Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Kansas City's defense is not allowed a passer to throw for 260 yards in a game this year. Is that incredible?
They've ridden their defense to where they are right now. And this has been a work in progress offense for Kansas City all year long. So they've ridden this defense, which has been smothering. You're absolutely right. I do wonder, Lee, though. For example, you mentioned that Baltimore game. Even in that Baltimore game, Travis Kelce had 11 receptions. He had something like 9 at halftime, and the halftime number was 11 and a half, and I took the over and got screwed. But what I'm saying is, how does the whole world know Travis Kelce's getting the ball and nobody ever stops him from catching it? We have this conversation every year.
Okay, well, it's a little harder when someone is either at the tight end position or just flexed out a little bit. He can go straight in or out. When a wide receiver is up against the sidelines, can't run as many routes. You can't break towards the sideline and keep going. You're out of bounds. So it is. Yeah. And that height. When you get guys 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", he had a couple catches. They were like 4 or 5 feet above his head. Incredible.
You think to yourself, you're a former quarterback. You must think when you see guys like that, the modern tight end is a cheat code. It's crazy. There's so many good ones.
Jeff, I had a 6'4" tight end. He was my guy that I threw to. He ended up going to Southeast Louisiana. Guy named Joe Hanko. He was the man. I could throw any route and he would somehow come down with it. He made me look really good. A couple others I like. Deebo Samuel, over 13.5 rushing yards. Early in the year when they played teams like Dallas and Philadelphia, they let it all hang out and they gave him the ball. He's been hurt a lot recently. They're going to give him the ball, I think, 3 or 4 times. He can get 14 yards on one rush. So I like that. I like Patrick Mahomes under 35.5 yards as his longest reception, not hitting on as many big plays as they used to. Also like under 5.5 penalties for Kansas City. Very disciplined team.
Okay, so those are regular props. We've had good, fun props here. You have to have an opinion on perhaps the total in the game itself.
Yep. So I favor Kansas City. We've only seen one other team in recent history come into a game and has not covered the 2 games before that. That was the New England Patriots when they lost the Super Bowl when they were undefeated. I think San Francisco's limping into this game here. I don't think their linebackers in coverage can control Travis Kelce. Another one I like Travis Kelce here over 70.5 receiving yards. And if it was, early or middle of the season, I think San Francisco was the best team. How about this? Everyone talks about the greatness of Patrick Mahomes. Also comes down to turnovers in the NFL. He's dropped back 111 times in the playoffs. 0 interceptions, 0 fumbles, only sacked twice for only 11 yards. He limits the bad plays. He knows when to get rid of the ball and to live to fight another day here. I'll take Andy Reid also, head coach, 27-4, coming off of a bye. I like Kansas City. I think they win this game 6 to 10 points. Wrong team favorite.
Can I ask you one final thing?
Sure.
Well, I understand how odds are made. I'm a gambler.
Sure.
I like to gamble. I don't understand the number. I don't understand how San Francisco is favored. There is nobody that I've talked to, and I'm not talking about the public, although that too. I'm talking about people like you, people who understand and bet games for a living. Nobody is picking San Francisco. It makes me nervous because I'm all over Kansas City.
Right.
And I feel like a dolt because how is that number San Francisco -2?
The public just loves San Francisco. It's a public team. I know Kansas City recently, has become more public, but until that time, until Patrick Mahomes got there, they were just pretty much forgotten about. So dating back to Joe Montana and Steve Young, it's one of those teams. It's like the Raiders, some
Cowboys,
of these other teams,
Steelers,
Cowboys, Packers, and you're going to see money. The public just loves San Francisco. And even after Green Bay, they had him as a 7.5 point favorite. I don't get it. They should have lost the game. You probably have talked about Dan Campbell. Any other head coach, when you're on the road, kick the field goal, go up 3 scores. As soon as that happened, I turned to my wife and I'm like, they're in trouble now.
Well, and then a few minutes later, you get the fumble, and then you realize it's over. It's all happening. Lee, I always love it, buddy. It's good to catch up with you again. Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, brother, and it's been a fun year. There's the number, 800-400-9741. Any other reasons for my folks to call you besides the fact that you win?
Okay, so I'm going to give away a free UFC card. We won 2 of the 3 cards this year. Don't have a whole lot of selections. Usually we'll sell 5 to 7 selections. Only have 3 of them. You want to get 3 free UFC selections, go to ParamountSports.com. On the homepage, scroll down where it says free pick sign up, fill that in, and we will email you our 3 top selections for the UFC. And also hockey and basketball red hot. You can get through the NHL finals in June or the NBA finals, just $497. Just one place, ParamountSports.com.
Be good, brother. It's always a pleasure. Take care.
Take care.
Better. Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports. You heard the man. It's always good to catch up, and we've got some others that I'll go through here, some other fun props to fool around with. But wanted to get Lee back on here at the end of the year and get in. Mainly, let's be honest, we wanted the national anthem bet. His daughter has nailed it. He's not wrong. I know that for a fact. I've made that bet 9 years in a row. Going for 10. That's the one. I don't care what you think about all the other bets. You may like some, you may dislike some. He's nailed that one. She has, anyhow. Chef Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV, Libations Friday edition continues in a moment. Fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Orthopedic pain and injury deserves effective treatment options now, so you feel better fast. Whether you have joint pain that won't subside or an urgent orthopedic injury, we are the specialists to get you back on your feet. And there's only one thing better than fast care: expert care. We believe you deserve both. TOC, only experts. Learn more at teamtoc.com.
There's nothing like relaxing in a hot tub after a long day. But if you don't have one, you're truly missing out. Hot tubs and spas have tremendous health benefits, besides just helping you relax. Like improving your sleep, they help with pain relief. They help to better your cardiovascular health, and so much more. And this season is the perfect season to finally buy what you've been wishing for. Pinch a Penny Pool, Patio, and Spas has the hot tubs you need for the price you want. Come shop our huge 12,000 square foot showroom and save today. There's over 50 hot tubs in stock right now, so you won't have to wait weeks on end for that delivery to finally come to town. If you're ready to relax, we're here to show you how. Pinch a Penny Pool, Patios, and Spas. Come visit our used showroom at 2473 Greer Road with over 50 hot tubs to choose from. You'll be glad you did.
Man, I just got a text from my wife. She wants me to cook dinner and then snuggle on the couch next to a roaring fire.
So what's the problem, Dave? You already got the new grill and you're a great cook.
I got one major problem. We don't have a fireplace.
Man, that's an easy fix. Just call Hearth and Patio. They got a lot of fireplaces that can help you for your romantic evenings. Wood, gas, electric, and a ton of different sizes, man. Call Hearth and Patio today, 850-727-4282, or visit them online at hearthpatiotallahassee.com. Hearth and Patio. Ignite that spark in your life. I'm Greg Tisch, and I want to share one of my favorite TCC alumni stories. It's been almost 30 years since Charlie Ward led the 1993 FSU football team to its first national championship, won the Heisman, and became the first Heisman winner to play in the NBA. But did you know, like thousands of students before and since, he started his college career at TCC? We are proud to call Charlie Ward one of our own. Today, he serves on the TCC District Board of Trustees, so you might even get to see him around campus.
TCC thanks our community for 58 years of support. We look forward to moving into the future together.
Zaxby's Sensation Salad is so much more than a plain old salad. It's a salad, which begs the question, at what point does a salad stop being a salad and become a salad? Is it when you add Zaxby's fried chicken to it? Crunchy wontons? Asian slaw? Citrus vinaigrette? Teriyaki glaze? Sweet and spicy sauce? Or is it when you top it all with a handmade perfectly fried egg roll? Without a doubt, the egg roll. The Sensation Salad, only at Zaxby's.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
So always fun to hear from Lee. By the way, here's an interesting bet. You know the numbers too. You know the total's 47.5. The most amount of money that comes in on the Super Bowl begins to come in starting today. Really, it's Friday and Saturday that you see all that, and then obviously it's a huge amount before kickoff on Sunday. I bring that up because maybe those totals change. Maybe that total changes. Maybe that number changes. I think if anything, this may go off, Tom, at San Fran -1, which, again, if we're just thinking about the game itself and the matchup, this is a hell of a matchup. Anybody that's going to – anytime you go into a Super Bowl and the spread is, even 1 or 2, you got a really good matchup. What's interesting is when I think of the total, and you and I think, have looked a lot at 24-21 type scores, right? Somewhere in there, something like that. Maybe even 21-17. I mean, I do think both teams are going to run the ball, so that'll shorten the game. Kansas City has only scored 22-plus points in 9 out of 20 games this year. 45%. Did you know that?
It sounds right. I didn't think it was that stark, but it sounds right because there was a lot of chatter this whole season while we were doing our thing and winning football games in Tallahassee. What the hell's wrong with this offense? What's wrong with the Chiefs? So, yeah. Yeah,
they've gone under the 21.5 total for Kansas City that's projected in this game. By the way, if you're betting team totals, it's 21.5 for Kansas City. They've gone under that number 9 out of they've gone over that number 9 out of 20 games. So 55% of their games has been under that. And against, if you go by power ratings and many other metrics, the top 10 teams in the league, you look at that. Kansas City's gone over 21.5 points. They played 5 teams that fall in the top 10 offenses and total scores, total metric, power mode, again, power rankings. They've played 5 teams, and twice they went over 21.5 points in those games. So you can go under 21.5 with Kansas City if you want to, and you get it at plus 120, Tom. So, that's an interesting bet.
The funny thing is I could see this be 24-20 or 24-21. And I feel like if you're betting the under, you're picking San Francisco to win there. That's just what the odds are telling you. Like that, it's chances are that somebody's going to get to 24 in this game or more. The thing I'd say is if you look at Kansas City's last 4 real games, I won't count the Chargers game in Week 18 because they knew what was coming. They knew their fate. 4 of the last 5, they have cleared the 21-point plateau. The only exception was Baltimore. Yep. And I think some of that was they're on easy street and they weren't trying to push the issue. So the offense has improved is my point. I think their offense has improved. It ain't world beaters. It's not a group of Patrick Mahomes' first Super Bowl, kind of everywhere you look, you've got weapons. But Pacheco has turned into a really nice player, a really reliable player.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been a broken record about it. The Rashi Rice element to the defense or to the offense forces defenses to play him a little bit more honest, and I think it makes Kelce that much more dangerous of a weapon. It's not that I think one team schemed against Rashi Rice, and that was Buffalo. Because he had targets galore against the Dolphins, and they plummeted against Buffalo. And then Kelce's relationship went the other way. He went through the roof in terms of targets. I think at least having a competent wide receiver makes everything go a little bit better to where 24-27 is reasonable as a prediction.
I think Rashi Rice is one of the guys who I was very fortunate to know a lot about early on and win some player prop bets with him this year. I think the cat is out of the bag with him because as you've talked about and documented, he's been the guy for them and he's unbelievably fast. But I had to know, Tom, because I got pinched into a corner with fantasy football. My number 1 receiver got hurt. My number 2 receiver got hurt. And I was scouring the waiver wires looking for anybody who was becoming a target anywhere in my fantasy league. And it was early in the year. And so I took a flyer after Rashi Rice had his first good game as a professional. He had a day in like week 3 or 4 or something. And he ended up, with like 6 catches. And so I took him. And then I've been following him ever since. Like, now I love him. He's a hero. Hour number 2, forthcoming. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Excellence defines us. So we'll never let orthopedic pain and injury define you. TOC is a physician-led team of fellowship-trained specialists providing the highest level of orthopedic care in the region. With 12 centers of excellence and TOC Now urgent care clinics, our patients access affordable expert care fast. TOC, only experts. Schedule an appointment at teamtoc.com.
Hello, I'm Jimmy Fasig.
And I'm Dana Brooks of Fasig Brooks Law Offices.
When you're in an accident, traffic cameras can be the best source of evidence to prove who's at fault.
That's why Fasig Brooks has partnered with RoadProof to have access to all their traffic camera footage.
With RoadProof, we can search our network of traffic cameras to find the evidence that could help you win your case.
Call us today to see if we can help find the proof to help you come back stronger.
Call us now at 850-777-7777.
If you've been waiting and waiting, perfect time to buy your new house, you'll be waiting forever. This is Shannon Young with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, and I have been a mortgage lender for over 20 years. And I can tell you that there is no such thing as perfect timing. So take the first step towards your new home and let me show you what that really looks like. Chances are very high that you'll be very surprised at what I can help you do. When rates go low, prices go high, and that home that you've been eyeballing could be gone. If you're wondering how the drop in interest rates is going to affect your payment, give me a call. I'll be more than happy to show you all of the options available to get you into your new home. And for every single loan that we close for a fellow Knoll, I will personally donate $250 per closing to the Battle's End. Let's do this together and let's keep climbing. Call me today at 954-369-6171. That's 954-369-6171. Or you can find me online at loansforknolls.com. That's loansforknolls.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 373031.
Keeping power reliable and affordable here in Florida is our most important commitment. At Duke Energy, we're working across our communities, strengthening our systems, rerouting power to help avoid outages, and adding proven innovations that will help make the grid stronger and more secure today and ready for tomorrow. Because Florida deserves more reliable and affordable power, and we're determined to deliver it. Paid for by Duke Energy shareholders.
I'm Caleb. I'm the lawn supervisor at Paul's Termite and Pest Control, and I really do love my job. Paul's has created an incredible work environment that always puts customers' needs first. Their needs are our concerns, and my particular job of improving the health of North Florida lawns is something I truly enjoy. I'm an outdoor person, and I get to be outside all day, watching the lawns run through the stages full of weeds to weedless to lush, grass-filled landscapes is very rewarding. I'm proud to represent Paul's.
I'm Jay. Having the privilege to work with people like Caleb and all of our employees is truly an honor. There is no doubt that the staff of Paul's Termite and Pest Control is the best in our industry. All of our people are local, and local really does mean something. We are North Floridians. Our kids go to school here. We shop here. We build relationships here, and we honor our commitments. To all of our customers, thanks for trusting us to protect your family, pets, and home.
For the elimination of termites, any other pests, and a greener lawn too, call Paul's. We'll get them all.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Hour number 2 rolling on a Libations Friday. Jeff Cameron Show. Hope you're well. You're in Tallahassee. Weather's gorgeous. Maybe you'll go out and play some golf. Maybe you'll make your way on over to, I don't know. Well, I was going to say the grocery store, and I didn't want to give specific love. Everybody knows I go to Publix. And you'll gather the drinks of choice for said Super Bowl. Actually, that's actually something, Tom. I was thinking about this. You and I are very similar here. Now, big games, if it involves our team, we don't like to watch it with people.
Correct.
You want to be by yourself to watch the game, the big game, because what we do for a living, partly, but also I don't like to be where I have to be entertaining to somebody or have a conversation with somebody when I'm trying to concentrate on my team. I want to see what's going on. Do you do the same thing? Are you that way for Super Bowls?
Yes, I preferred, because we were starting to come out of COVID a little bit, in terms of like comfort level interacting with friends and acquaintances, parties, if you will. The Buccaneers were in the Super Bowl, and a lot of friends were asking, what are you going to do? And I preferred to be alone. And the way I treat those days too, because like, look, if you're in a group and people want to have fun, that's great. But this is sports life or death. So I'd like to be with I would watch it, like, for example, I'd watch the Super Bowl with you. I would, because we have the same team. Now, if you were a Cowboys fan still, and I was a Bucs fan, and the Cowboys weren't in it, I'd prefer not to watch it with you. And I think you'd feel the same way. Like, you have to be in it.
But I'm talking about, I agree with you there. If it involves your team, yes. But what about the Super Bowl in general? Like when it's two teams you don't give a damn about, San Francisco and Kansas City.
So it depends. How good is the party I'm being invited to? Do I get access to the television? Because that's the other thing here.
I want to hear.
Yeah, I want to be able to hear it. The commercials sometimes, I don't really care. Some of them are hilarious, and some of them are just duds. And I get it. We're not the target demo for every commercial that the Super Bowl has. But, yeah, if it's one of those parties where you have to jostle for position, no, man. There is a balance there between how many people are in a setting. Now, this is going to be fascinating this weekend. I don't know what the hell we're going to do. We could just watch it, the two of us up here, but we don't exactly have an inner circle yet to go to a party. I'm waiting to see if there are any drink specials, like our guy in Baton Rouge.
He knows damn well where they're going to be, buddy.
So they're all broadcasting their specials for catering. Nobody is saying like, hey, we got 2 for $1. I'm like, come on, man. There's got to be somebody around here. It's going to get a little dangerous on Sunday. I'm just letting you know. Because I'm going to the pub for a 10 a.m. showing of Six Nations between Ireland and Italy.
Which will be awesome.
That's a dangerous way to start the day on a Super Bowl Sunday.
But remember, you don't really have to worry about it because you, sir, are in walking distance of wherever you're going.
No, that also comes with, I found in the first month and a half of living here, that does come with a sense of invincibility that isn't true either.
No, you got, but
just because you can walk where you're going doesn't mean you're empowered to be an idiot. And I've failed in that regard over the holidays.
Well, I'm just telling you, if worst case scenario happens and you've been overserved, walking to your house is an option that you're aware of, and it's nice. It's a better situation. Or when you've crossed the line and realized, I think I'm slurring my words, I should go home. Like that kind of thing. When that, you have that option. So have a big day, buddy. The only regret we all have on Super Bowl Sunday is the fact that the next day is not a holiday. And one of these days, we're going to get this right. We're going to have a damn holiday on that Monday after the Super Bowl, or you just move the Super Bowl to Saturday. I've never understood this. It really bothers me to no end. As far as Super Bowls go, though, I don't like going to Super Bowl parties. I've been to a few. I don't like them because you're there to socialize. You're there to talk to people. You miss everything. And I don't care. I'm with you. Like, a lot of the commercials suck. We have all these high expectations because we know the cost of the commercials. There have been some legendary commercials. And, so I am down with that. But I don't like to go to Super Bowl parties primarily because people at Super Bowl parties, not all people, but a lot of people at Super Bowl parties aren't football fans. They don't care about the game. They care about Usher at halftime, who I don't care at all about. And they care about the commercials, and they want to talk about it. And I want to watch the game.
Sure. Well, that matters too. The halftime act matters. If it's a crappy one, you're more apt to stay home, I think. It could work either way. Now, a couple of our friends have very good parties, one of which has the more serious style that you're talking about, and one of which has more of a blowout style party. Now, if it's a garbage Super Bowl, you don't like either of the teams, man, you go have a big time and you catch the game when you catch the game. Like, I don't have to watch the Super Bowl start to finish if I'm of the mind that it's going to be bad. Like, for example, we didn't know this for a fact.
New England, LA.
Oh my God, dude. You know what? Turn the music up. Let's go. Let's have a good time tonight.
That game was embarrassingly bad. 13-3.
Yeah.
It was awful, and it was annoying to watch. Nothing about it.
But that's also the one we had this discussion last week where we talk about the first part of the run for New England and their Super Bowls, Belichick more than Brady. Then Brady peaks. They don't win as many when Brady peaks, but it's Brady more than Belichick. Man, they won 13-3. You're going to give that to Brady? Get the hell out of here. That's a Belichick Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, man. Look, Belichick, I mean, we can't – people always want to relegate people to certain things that they can more easily digest. It's not that. Look, those two together are the greatest duo of all time, and it's not arguable.
Yeah.
I mean, Brady has 7 Super Bowls. Belichick's won 6. Also, Belichick was the architect of that Giants defense that shut down Buffalo's offense in the Super Bowl in Tampa. I mean, look, Belichick is a god of a coach, period. But that said, yes, it was funny to see the latter half of the career with him. Where he got in trouble was trying to run personnel. He was terrible in the draft. He just did an awful job in the draft.
Yeah, the GM hurt the coach there, and it's the same man. Like, I can remember, there have been duds before the salary cap. There were a lot of them in the Super Bowl. The Buccaneers have produced a couple duds, but we like those. We'll be locked in for those. The Pittsburgh Steelers, Seattle Seahawks, 2005 season, 2006 Super Bowl. That
21-10. It was awful.
That was the only thing that was compelling about it. Was Jerome Bettis being home in Detroit. Like, they played that up. That's all they did was they played that up and up and up. The game that postseason was Pittsburgh and Indy when Vanderjagt missed the kick. Like, that was the one.
Yeah, good old Vanderjagt who got liquored up.
But I will tell you that Mike Holmgren's All-American charm aside and Jerome Bettis going home, that felt like the Super Bowl that it ended up being.
It was awful.
I would go to the blowout for that particular Super Bowl. Like, no way would I sit down and watch that seriously.
You don't remember this. You were 4 years old, but I remember it very well, and I had already graduated high school. San Francisco beat Denver, I think in 1990, 89 season, 90 Super Bowl, whatever that was, 55-10, Tom. And it's just one of the worst games you've ever It's awful. The next year is that Giants-Buffalo game in Tampa that's so good, 20-19. That's the Norwood game. But 55-10. It's just –
Well, Denver played in a game like that in my lifetime, but they were the winner over Atlanta. That game, I mean, again –
that's the famous Eugene Robinson game.
That is the Eugene Robinson game. That is the game, again, when you're choosing your Super Bowl destination, that game, we knew what was going to happen before it kicked off. You got Denver, Green Bay. There was your classic.
Yep.
The next year was, man, let's have a block party today on Super Bowl Sunday. I don't need to worry about crap.
I bet you would agree with this. There are 2 Super Bowls that I kind of thought would be duds that turned out to be great.
I know one of them
is New England, Carolina.
Oh, man, Jake Delhomme played like a badass that day.
It's the best game Jake Delhomme's ever played in. I mean, he was that good that day. It made no sense. Jake Delhomme was the reason that we all thought they were going to get killed, and he was the only reason they were in the game. Mm-hmm. He was phenomenal. That was a 3-point game.
Yeah. Overtime, right?
Was it? I don't remember. 32-29, I think it was, or something like that. That's crazy. Another game that I thought would be a certain dud that turned out to be great. Well, there's a couple of them. I thought it, frankly, going all the way back, I think New England, St. Louis, that's Brady's first. I didn't think that'd be a good game. I thought St. Louis would kill him.
Yeah, agreed. And actually, I was watching with my Aunt Ellen that day. She was in town snowbirding. And she was a diehard Patriots fan. So we had a little connection, the whole house, not just because we hated St. Louis for Buccaneers reasons, but like, she was so excited. That was a good memory for us. No, the kick went through with 9 seconds to go in the Carolina game. So it wasn't overtime, but it basically was sudden death.
Yeah, it was, a great game. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Pittsburgh and Arizona. That is, I think that's my favorite Super Bowl I ever watched.
It was probably the best Super Bowl ever played. It was incredible. Those were playmakers, and that's the Harrison Long touchdown run on the goal line there, or the interception when he drops back into coverage. You know what I heard, by the way? I heard him this week, and that's the one good thing about Radio Row and the Super Bowl. You get a lot of veterans that come back, people who've won Super Bowls, and they sit down and do a lot of interviews, and some of them actually say something. He was doing an interview. I don't remember where it was. I just read the transcript, and he said that Dick LeBeau gave one of the greatest, if not the greatest, defensive coordinators of all time, who Jameis had the misfortune of facing in his very first NFL game. I remember telling you beforehand, this ain't a good matchup, dude.
First pass is a pick six. His Buccaneers career, first and last passes were pick sixes.
Well, and I knew the matchup of Dick LeBeau versus a rookie. I went, ooh.
And then a rookie facing a cover 2 that had been around since 1998. Yeah,
it was going to be a problem. So bottom line is Dick LeBeau told his players, because he had so many good players on that Pittsburgh defense, I can't play the game for you. I can tell you what you're going to see. I can prepare you for what you're going to see based on trends, based on what they've done in the past. But if you see a tell, you have the freedom to exit out of whatever your assignment is in that moment. And so nobody was more famous for doing that than Troy Polamalu, who would routinely just decide, I'm coming off this guy or this area of the field, or I'm just going to leap over the line and sack the quarterback because I've started to figure out what his count is. Like he would do things like that. Well, Harrison said in that moment, he had seen the film over and over and over again, that when they got down to the goal line, Kurt Warner often would audible out to a quick pass. And when everybody stacked inside, and rather than bang your head, he would often opt out and just throw a quick pass to the left. Harrison said in that moment he got lined up, it was an all-out blitz. They called it was God, he said the name of it, I can't remember, whatever they called it. It was an all-out blitz. His job was to crash down so that Lawrence Timmons could come out, and he was telling about this. And from there, he said in the last second, he decided, you know what? We've got this blocked up inside. We're good. I'm going to step back and see if he throws it so I can bat it down. He just wanted to bat it down. And he said he took 2 steps back. Kurt Warner was looking right at him. And he said when he released the ball, I couldn't believe he threw it. And he said, so the Pro Bowl back then was a few weeks later after the Super Bowl, or 2 weeks after the Super Bowl, whatever it was. He said, I ran into Kurt Warner afterwards, and Warner walked straight over to him and said, you were supposed to blitz. I know you were supposed to blitz.
Yeah.
Why didn't you blitz? And then he said, well, why did you throw it? He goes, I didn't see you till the ball came off my fingers. And right when it came off my fingers, I saw you. And I thought, that big son of a bitch can't catch that. And then he did it. He goes 99 yards and the whole thing.
Oh, man. And it's one of the legendary effort plays that didn't work because Fitzgerald ran 130 yards across the field, maybe more, really, when you're doing the triangulation of how long he ran, and he came up just short. So really quickly, here are some of the numbers from that. Well, some of the names first. You know the quarterbacks. It's Kurt Warner, Ben Roethlisberger. Ben only threw 1 touchdown in that game. Picked a good time.
Never really had to do much, man.
No, it's true. The leading rusher for Pittsburgh, you probably would get it if I gave you guesses, but it's Willie Parker. He had 19 carries, 53. The leading rusher,
Parker, wow.
The leading rusher for Arizona was Edgerrin James, 9 carries for 33 yards. Here are some of the receivers' names, just to have you go in the Wayback Machine, because this game's longer ago than we want to admit. The 2 leading receivers were Santonio Holmes, he had the big catch, and Larry Fitz, 7 for 127 and 2 touchdowns. Then there's Heath Miller, the tight end for Pittsburgh, 5 catches for 57. Hines Ward only had 2 for 43. On the Arizona side, Anquan Bolden, 8 for 84. He would get his Super Bowl a few years later. Steve Breston. Oh, wow. God. Steve Breston, 6 catches, 71 yards. Man, oh, man.
Kurt Warner threw for 377 yards in that game, I remember, and that was a 16-point fourth quarter for Arizona, and they could have won it, and I thought they were going to, and Ben Roethlisberger, who you correctly point out didn't have to do much, did throw the best pass in Super Bowl history.
He did, in football history, probably.
It's unreal. He actually did it twice, if you recall.
He did it twice, and I just remember this is the first time I started to think in historical terms during a Super Bowl, like legacies and things like that. When Larry Fitz breaks away with his 64-yard catch and run, because if it was 15 yards at most, I think, on the route and the completion, he breaks a tackle, he breaks over the middle, something happens, and then he's free. And so you have 4 or 5 seconds to just go, oh, my God. This great receiver did it. And there's under 3 minutes to go when he scores. There's 2:47 to go. And I remember thinking, this is the singularly greatest wide receiver performance I've ever seen in a Super Bowl because of the importance of all the catches. Oh, my God, what a performance. And it gets lost to history, just like Julio Jones' catch in the 28-3 game down the stretch gets completely lost and glossed over by the comeback by the Patriots at 28-3.
I know we got to bring Mom here in a second, but I want to do something really quick. Darnell Dockett in that game had 6 tackles and 3 sacks, Tom.
Oh, my God.
6 tackles and 3 sacks in a losing effort. Lawrence Timmons had 5 tackles, 5 solos on that day. You had some Noles out on the field, buddy, and you made me just go look it up because I was trying to think of which Noles were out there, and I thought of their names, so I looked up those numbers. But it's fun to do this. Mewelde Moore was on that team. You mentioned Willie Parker, J.J. Arrington was on that Arizona team. It's hilarious to think about those names. We'll slide out here in a couple of segments. We got Mom. I got a real short question. You got to get Red Zone ready. We got to do it up.
Yep.
We'll do that next. Jeff Cameron, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Orthopedic pain and injury deserves effective treatment options now, so you feel better fast. Whether you have joint pain that won't subside or an urgent orthopedic injury, we are the specialists to get you back on your feet. And there's only one thing better than fast care. expert care. We believe you deserve both. TOC, only experts. Learn more at teamtoc.com.
There's nothing like relaxing in a hot tub after a long day. But if you don't have one, you're truly missing out. Hot tubs and spas have tremendous health benefits, besides just helping you relax. Like improving your sleep, they help with pain relief. They help to better your cardiovascular health, and so much more. And this season is the perfect season to finally buy what you've been wishing for. Pinch a Penny Pool, Patio, and Spas has the hot tubs you need for the price you want. Come shop our huge 12,000 square foot showroom and save today. There's over 50 hot tubs in stock right now, so you won't have to wait weeks on end for that delivery to finally come to town. If you're ready to relax, we're here to show you how. Pinch a Penny Pool, Patios, and Spas. Come visit our huge showroom at 2473 Greer Road with over 50 hot tubs to choose from. You'll be glad you did.
Man, I just got a text from my wife. She wants me to cook dinner and then snuggle on the couch next to a roaring fire.
So what's the problem, Dave? You already got the new grill, and you're a great cook.
I got one major problem. We don't have a fireplace.
Man, that's an easy fix. Just call Hearth and Patio. They got a lot of fireplaces that can help you for your romantic evenings. Wood, gas, electric, and a ton of different sizes, man. Call Hearth and Patio today, 850-727-4282, or visit them online at hearthpatiotallahassee.com. Hearth and Patio. Ignite that spark in your life. I'm Greg Tisch, and I want to share one of my favorite TCC alumni stories. It's been almost 30 years since Charlie Ward led the 1993 FSU football team to its first national championship, won the Heisman, and became the first Heisman winner to play in the NBA. But did you know, like thousands of students before and since, he started his college career at TCC? We are proud to call Charlie Ward one of our own. Today, he serves on the TCC District Board of Trustees, so you might even get to see him around campus.
TCC thanks our community for 58 years of support. We look forward to moving into the future together.
Zaxby's Sensation Salad is so much more than a plain old salad. It's a salad, which begs the question, at what point does a salad stop being a salad and become a salad? Is it when you add Zaxby's fried chicken to it? Crunchy wontons? Asian slaw? Citrus vinaigrette? Teriyaki glaze? Sweet and spicy sauce? Or is it when you top it all with a handmade perfectly fried egg roll? Without a doubt, the egg roll. The Sensation Salad, only at Zaxby's.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Reminder, everybody, before we get to Red Zone and my friends at Artisan Financial Strategies, I do want to, it's a big game this week, and we've been talking about it all day. Social Kitchen is open on Cary Forest Parkway. It's right next to Ology. If you've not been there yet, this is a good weekend to do it. Get out there today if you can, or Saturday. Chef Chris is awesome. All jokes aside, I always talk about rub your meats and all that. Listen, their food is delicious. If you're doing steaks for the Super Bowl, go get the Wagyu. It's one of the few places in town that have it. It is delicious. It makes a difference. It is an easy cook on the cast iron. I just did it recently. It's delicious. Social catering. You can do a social kitchen, I should say, on Cary Forest Parkway. Swing by. You won't regret it. All right, let's do it. Red Zone is set for now. Artisan Financial Strategies. Yeah, that sounder, Tommy? I don't even know if we do or not.
Welcome to the majesty.
Every freaking rep.
The elegance.
To win the game. Oh, he hits the upright. It's no good.
You have entered.
Someone burned down the funeral home. You burnt the funeral home.
Lives will be changed.
Sideline. Touchdown. Unbelievable.
Mothers will cry.
When you see your players give all that they have and you lose that way, it's tough.
Legacies are etched into eternity.
I know who I am.
North, South Dakota was his brother from West Virginia.
This is the Red Zone.
That's good to know.
Always funny, always good. Artisan Financial Strategies. Adam is a friend of mine, Adam Tolliver. And I'll tell you to go to noelretirement.com and learn more. But Adam is a pro's pro, a hard worker, and really smart. And his team is simply fantastic. We had somebody recently say they reached out. We appreciate that. Let us know when you do. Go noelretirement.com, all one word. Adam signs his emails, yours in service. I don't think he would mind me telling you that. That guy is all about it and easy to deal with, wicked smart. You want to save your money. You want to have money for retirement. You want to be able to go on vacation. Whatever it is you want to do with your money, let the experts help you. Artisan Financial Strategies. All right, Tommy, we got a quick one here. What are the red zone questions?
Okay, so I'm going to make it one question with two parts.
All right.
We've talked to 4 out of 5 of the Alabama transfers as of this morning when we're recording. Earl Little, Sean Murphy, TJ Ferguson, and Malik Benson.
Mm-hmm.
Roydell Williams counts in this exercise, but of the 5 Alabama transfers, tell me who the most productive player is going to be and who the fan favorite is going to be.
Fan favorite will be wide receiver. Most productive will be Earl Little Jr. or Murphy. It's one of the 2 defenders.
Wow.
I like them both a lot. Murphy, linebacker.
Most productive, because Roydell Williams might be somebody who goes for 600, 700 rushing yards.
He might. I'm wrestling with it. I'm telling you, if Murphy can play, he's going to be the guy. We've gotten by. I want to see some dudes out there at linebacker now.
Murphy, he believes in himself. We'll probably run that clip on Monday. He said something to the effect of like he's diligent, like every one of these guys that comes in. You can tell they got a plan. They see the opportunity. The details are there. But somebody asked me a question, because and I'm a pretty good football player. So, okay.
Listen, you don't get recruited to play linebacker at Alabama without being a really good football player. That's the defensive side of the ball. That's Nick Saban's side of the ball. He said, yes, I believe in that young man. I'm going Murphy.
One more thing on that note. 2 players mentioned, and they were both defenders, Earl Little and Sean Murphy in their interviews, that they look forward to blending the cultures of Alabama and Florida State together, that they bring insights from what they've learned from Nick Saban. Both of them said this. They have learned from Nick, and they want to blend the 2 things together. Like, man, bring it on.
Oh, infuse that into my blood, baby. I love it. I want to hear it. That's perfect. Hey, NoelRetirement.com. Go reach out to Adam and his team. They're outstanding. Outstanding. Artisan Financial Strategies. Chef Cameron Show. Mother's up next.
Excellence defines us, so we'll never let orthopedic pain and injury define you. TOC is a physician-led team of fellowship-trained specialists providing the highest level of orthopedic care in the region. With 12 centers of excellence and TOC Now urgent care clinics, our patients access affordable expert care fast. TOC, only experts. Schedule an appointment at teamtoc.com.
Hello, I'm Jimmy Fasig.
And I'm Dana Brooks of Fasig Brooks Law Offices.
When you're in an accident, traffic cameras can be the best source of evidence to prove who's at fault.
That's why Fasig Brooks has partnered with RoadProof to have access to all their traffic camera footage.
With RoadProof, we can search our network of traffic cameras to find the evidence that could help you win your case.
Call us today to see if we can help find the proof to help you come back stronger.
Call us now at 850-777-7777.
If you've been waiting and waiting, perfect time to buy your new house, you'll be waiting forever. This is Shannon Young with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, and I have been a mortgage lender for over 20 years. And I can tell you that there is no such thing as perfect timing. So take the first step towards your new home and let me show you what that really looks like. Chances are very high that you'll be very surprised at what I can help you do. When rates go low, prices go high, and that home that you've been eyeballing could be gone. If you're wondering how the drop in interest rates is going to affect your payment, give me a call. I'll be more than happy to show you all of the options available to get you into your new home. And for every single loan that we close for a fellow Noel, I will personally donate $250 per closing to the Battle's End. Let's do this together, and let's keep climbing. Call me today at 954-369-6171. That's 954-369-6171. Or you can find me online at loansforknowles.com. That's loansforknowles.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 373031.
Keeping power reliable and affordable here in Florida is our most important commitment. At Duke Energy, we're working across our communities, strengthening our systems, rerouting power to help avoid outages, and adding proven innovations that will help make the grid stronger and more secure today and ready for tomorrow. Because Florida deserves more reliable and affordable power, and we're determined to deliver it. Paid for by Duke Energy shareholders.
I'm Caleb. I'm the lawn supervisor at Paul's Termite and Pest Control, and I really do love my job. Paul's has created an incredible work environment that always puts our customers' needs first. Their needs are our concerns, and my particular job of improving the health of North Florida lawns is something I truly enjoy. I'm an outdoor person, and I get to be outside all day watching the lawns run through the stages full of weeds to weedless to lush, grass-filled landscapes is very rewarding. I'm proud to represent Paul's.
I'm Jay. Having the privilege to work with people like Caleb and all of our employees is truly an honor. There is no doubt that the staff of Paul's Termite and Pest Control is the best in our industry. All of our people are local, and local really does mean something. We are North Floridians. Our kids go to school here. We shop here. We build relationships here, and we honor our commitments. To all of our customers, thanks for trusting us to protect your family, pets, and home.
For the elimination of termites, any other pests, and a greener lawn too, call Paul's. We'll get them all.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Libations Friday, and this for the final time, an opportunity to talk to Mama. Frankly, I don't want to talk to her anymore. She's put a beating on me this year. This hasn't even been remotely close. Mom ran away with it late, and as she'll point out, at one point down 5 or 6 to me, and then just turned the corner and never looked back after a really brilliant weekend somewhere in the middle of the year, and I've been reeling ever since. So if you would, cue it up. Let's get to.
And now for another edition of the Family Pick. Nick.
Go to your room! Ma, the meatloaf!
Take it away, Jeffrey.
All right, there it is. So we'll bring in Mom now and have an opportunity to congratulate her. Mom, you win fair and square, domination. I should send you a plaque or a belt or something because you have it.
This day should live in infamy.
Well, if I'm going to get beat, it's not bad to get beat by Mom. And then if I'm going to lose, I want to lose not close. I'd rather it be decisive, and it has been decisive.
I know. I just got very serious. I don't quite know what happened. But anyway, I got a little luck involved, I feel sure.
Oh, look at this at the bottom of the screen. Mom is the champion. Mom is the champion of the show. Yeah. Well done, Tom. Well done. All right. So all that's left is for you to pick this game. It doesn't matter if you get it right or not, although I do think we both agree this is a great game. I mean, it's, I know you don't gamble really, but it's only a 2-point spread. So Vegas is telling
right?
you.
I did not know that. Yeah. Well, I know it. I've gone back and forth and back and forth. I still am kind of going back and forth because I know I've said that I would really like the 49ers to win. I like John Lynch, the general manager, and I like Christian McCaffrey, and I like the Brock Purdy story with Mr. Irrelevant and all of that. And I don't know. I really like the 49ers, and I'm going to be rooting for them. But it's really hard to pick against Kansas City because it seems like, I think I said this to you yesterday, they really ramp up their play in the postseason, and they just seem to find a way, and everybody's playing better now, I think, than they went through a kind of a lull or something during the season and weren't playing too well, but now it seems like they are. So I'm going to pick Kansas City, but I really want the 49ers to win. And if I if this came down to whether I had to pick it and it was going to be whether I won or not, I don't know for sure what I would do, but I'm picking Kansas City since it doesn't matter.
One of the reasons that it's kind of improbable and it's hard to pick against Kansas City is that many of the ways that they've won has changed. You know, we forget last year when they beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl, first of all, they were getting stomped at halftime. Secondly, they had to come back and win 38-35. It was a great Super Bowl. But like much of their success last year and the previous years where they've had success, those teams put up a ton of points. Kansas City could score, and they had those Tyreek Hill teams that could just fly. There was speed. You coupled that with Kelce and then Mahomes' legs and all that stuff. This team is very pedestrian. They don't do anything all that well. Kelce's still great, and Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league. So it's weird to describe them as pedestrian, but offensively, the numbers tell you they're average. They're 15th in the league in scoring. They've been game to game over the course of the year. Tom and I talked the whole first hour about this. They had a hard time week to week just getting to 21 points, 24 points. Like, this is not the same team. And so that's why we look at them and just say, well, God, how are you back in the Super Bowl? You had to go on the road twice. You know, you had to go to Baltimore had a way better season. And, you know, a lot of people felt like it was Buffalo's time. And yet Kansas City went in there and did all of that. And that's why you get to a point where you're like, well, I don't know. I just can't bet against them anymore because they just keep winning. And
that's the way I feel.
Yeah. But I'm going to go against them. I'm going to pick San Francisco. Okay. And I mean, what the hell do I care? Yeah. And I was
that's right. You might as well pick them.
But also, first of all, they're the favorites.
Yeah, that's true.
Second, would you stop beating the hell out of your desk?
I'm sorry. This pin, I'll show everybody. The pin fell down.
Okay. Secondly, I do think there is a path here. Kansas City, if they've got one weakness on defense, it is their defense against teams who zone block in the run game, and that's what San Francisco does. And so I think they got to lean heavy. This has got to be a McCaffrey kind of game because, it protects your young quarterback. You know, he's going to be saucer-eyed. And you got an opportunity to turn and hand the ball off to one of the best backs in the league. Offensive linemen love to run block. You can possess the football if you go have success on the ground. That's the path for them to win the game. And that's the route I'm going to go with here. I think they possess the ball, and they don't give Kansas City a lot of at-bats, for lack of a better term. Right. And they shorten the game. But I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, and I think it's going to be kind of maybe San Francisco in a squeaker, 24-21.
Yeah. Well, I agree with all of that, and I hope you're right. I just when I go back and forth, I think, God, it's just that, you know, it's just that Mahomes factor, really. It's like he's like a magician. And you know, he may not have to do a whole lot if they do run the ball a lot or they hand it off to McCaffrey or whatever, but it's like one of those things where, and I don't even know for sure about the kickers. Like if it comes down to a field goal, I don't know whose kicker is.
Kansas City's kicker is very good. Hey, so by the way, obviously our Bucs have won a couple of Super Bowls. Yeah. One of them over these Chiefs, 31-9.
That's right, which amazes me.
We beat their ass, Mom. It wasn't even competitive.
I know. But
in fact, Kansas City should apologize for boring all of America while the Bucs just beat their ass senselessly.
That's the great thing about the Bucs. We've been in 2 Super Bowls and we've won 2, and they really weren't stressful. Especially the first one. The first one wasn't stressful at all.
This one was 31-9 Tampa Bay, and then our other one was 48-21 over Oakland. Yeah. And we could have named our score. In fact, we were laughing at Oakland midway through the third quarter. It was over.
I know. Unbelievable. As nervous as I get in those kind of games with the Bucs, I was probably as least nervous in those 2 Super Bowls as I was in, at least after the first couple of quarters of any game all year.
I have a question for you before I let you go.
Yes.
All right. So, you know, I'm 52 years old. I can go back to 1970, probably 78, maybe even 77. 78 is what I remember. I remember Dallas beat Denver in 1978, 27-10. I remember that Super Bowl. They lost to the Cowboys lost to the Steelers the following year in 1979 in the Orange Bowl, 35-31, in one of the greatest Super Bowls ever played. Jackie Smith dropped the touchdown, all that stuff, right? Okay. Yeah. You're older than me, obviously.
Yeah. This morning, I especially look older.
Now, let me ask you a question. Do you remember Super Bowl 1 and 2 and 3 because they're in 68 and 69?
Well, I remember obviously the first one,
Green Bay and Kansas City,
because we lived in Miami, and isn't that the first? That's not the first Super Bowl?
No, the first Super Bowl is Green Bay and Kansas City, and then it's Green Bay and Oakland, then it's the Jets versus Baltimore in Miami. Now, you might remember both. So the second Super Bowl and the third Super Bowl were both played in the Orange Bowl in Miami.
Yeah, and I do remember both of those, and especially the Jets, because of course your granddad. We've told that story before, I think, where we lived next door to this guy who worked out on the beach, and he was an entertainer, and he was given tickets, and he was not a sports fan, and of course the Super Bowl, the third Super Bowl, wasn't anything like Super Bowl whatever this is, 50 whatever, and he just walked next door to us and rang the doorbell and said to your granddad, "Listen, I got these tickets to Super Bowl." He goes, "I don't really want to go, but if you want to go, we'll go." And your granddad was like, "Well, hell yes, I want to go," And so they went. And saw.
Well, think about how famous that is, Mom. That's Joe Namath's guarantee.
I know. I was supposed to get ready to say it's one of the most famous Super Bowls of all time. And they went, had a great time, and they had fantastic seats. I don't know exactly where they were sitting, but I definitely remember that one. I remember didn't you just say it was the Green Bay? Was it the Dallas Green Bay?
No, you remember Pittsburgh and
the
Dallas.
Ice Bowl. The Ice Bowl. Yeah. Well, what was the first one?
Yeah, the Green Bay beat Kansas City in Super Bowl 1, 35-10. They beat Oakland the next year, 33-14. That's how Lombardi's legend was born.
Right. And I do remember those Super Bowls for sure. But I think I remember the second one more than the first one, because in the first one, I don't think they hyped it up as much or anything like as they obviously as they do now. But even as they got to the second or the third one, I think people saw that it was going to be, quite the game or whatever. And they didn't call it the Super Bowl back then.
No, and you know what I think is interesting? If you go back, and this is the final thing I'll say on this, our beloved Buccaneers went from worst to first under John McKay, and had a chance. They went to the playoffs. They won the division. If you go back to that 79 Super Bowl, or 1980 Super Bowl 79 season, that's where the Steelers beat the Rams. And if you remember, the Rams beat the Bucs in Tampa, and we had a touchdown called back on a ghost clip or something like that. And so that was, I think it was 9-0 or something like that. We lost.
It was not a good score.
No, it was crazy. So
and we could have won.
Yeah, so the Bucs could have gone to the Super Bowl way before they ever did, and really kind of avoided a lot of the misery that followed had they been able to push through. But at that time, the Bucs, and people forget this because they were so saddled with so many losses for so many years, but the Bucs were the fastest team in history to go from to be born and birthed into the league to go to and win an NFC go to the NFC title game. They were the fastest franchise in history to do that.
Is that right? I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't, because they were so god awful, and they were famous for all the consecutive loss streak and all of that. But then they, McKay was famously asked about, you said you had a 5-year plan. How did you know it would take 5 years to get here? And he said, well, that was the length of my contract. Had I had a 4-year contract, I would have told you I had a 4-year plan.
I know. He was pretty funny.
He was very funny. John McKay was one of the funniest coaches of all time.
I know. He had another famous line, too, that I can't remember.
Well, it was, what do you think about your team's execution? I'm all for it.
Yeah, that's what I know. I knew there was something that he said that was very, very funny. I know.
No, and he was also mic'd up, walking back and forth one time, and he got tired of bumping into his players who were standing too close to the sideline. And he's like, "I'll trade your ass to Green Bay next week." Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah, he was very funny. He and Hank Stram, that used to be the Kansas City coach years ago.
Yeah,
he was also very funny.
Well, you loved him. Matriculate the ball down the field, boys.
Keep matriculating the ball down the field. I love that. That he just cracked me up. Yeah, he was really a fun coach to listen to and to watch. Yeah, I've been watching football a long time. I'm telling you what.
Mom, I love you. Congratulations on your championship, and enjoy the big game.
I'm going to savor it.
I'll send you something. I don't know. Maybe I'll get a little cheeky trophy made or something and send it down.
Well, if I have this bulletin board up here, if it's something I can pin up there, I'll pin it up there.
Well, you could put it alongside your Bucks memorabilia.
I can put it up next to my Bucks memorabilia.
And the amazing.
I'll be happy about it. But anyway, well, we'll see what happens with this game. I really, I won't be devastated either way, obviously, because I do like Patrick Mahomes. I'm just kind of sick of him now, and
everybody is.
Yeah, and the whole team. But I'd like to see San Fran win. So we'll see. We'll hope it's a good game.
Bye, Mama. Love you.
Love you. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend.
All right. You too.
Bye-bye.
There's the champ weighing in. And Tom, I appreciate your graphics. Thanks for that. Son of the champion was up there the whole time. I saw that champion next to it in the box. Yes, she can put the trophy that I send her next to the incredible gift that a son who pays attention to their parents gives, which is a old school Bucks helmet signed by Derek Brooks, which is really cool.
So two things. Number one, I didn't realize that the Super Bowl was not called the Super Bowl. So I researched those facts really quickly. AFL NFL World Championship game was the original name of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Pete Rozelle thought it should be called the Big One or the Pro Bowl, which is kind of funny now.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Lamar. Let's see. I want to make sure. Yeah, Lamar Hunt, who suggested Super Bowl because his son had a toy called the Super Ball, and he said, "Let me suggest Super Bowl." And so they tried it out, and it worked, and that's how it stuck because of a toy that one of the owner's kids had. That's how.
I will tell you this. It's funny. You just mentioned Pete Rozelle. I remember Pete Rozelle. I remember Pete Rozelle's time as commissioner. I remember it vividly. In fact, Pete Rozelle was my favorite commissioner of all time. I loved Pete Rozelle. I had a soft place in my heart for Pete Rozelle. He spoke definitively. My man knew what was going on. He wasn't annoying like today's commissioner.
So Tagliabue is the first one I remember. And he was fine. He was whatever. Goodell is played out. I'm looking forward to whoever the hell the next person's going to be. But, yeah, and this is big business now. So these commissioners don't give these jobs up very easily.
No.
G.D. Gary Bettman is still the NHL commissioner. And Mr. Bobblehead, the important thing is he's ridiculous. The one thing I would say about the memorabilia department really quickly, you have a mother who appreciates these things more than mine would. I got a gift from my folks. It's the most thoughtful thing I could do at 17, 18 years old. It is a huge panoramic photo of Game 7 of the 2004 Stanley Cup Finals, and the Lightning are raising the cup. And all the way on the left-hand side, there's a magnifying glass that I gave with him. You can see us where our seats were. So it's like, hey, here's our moment in time. And they enjoyed it. Didn't get the whole, it's like when you work a room or you have a speech, like I nailed that, and you get like a okay, thought I deserved a little better than that. Years later, I got her a tea kettle because hers was busted, and she goes, every time I come, I love that tea kettle. This gift you ever got me. I'm like, well, I don't think it is, but okay.
Giving gifts to parents isn't unlike giving gifts to children. You just never know. You never know. Like I spent so much money on that Millennium Falcon that I gave Bryce all those years ago. It's one of the coolest things ever. It's gigantic. It's got all the bells and whistles. He played with it one time. One time. To the point where I was like, I'm going to give it to Tom. This is useless.
You gave it to Matthew. For Director Matthew's son.
Yeah, I gave it to Matthew. Yeah.
And it's greatly appreciated in that house, as I understand it. So
it should be. It's like $450. It's the best damn thing ever.
That's the only time you ever called me of should I get this for my son. I was like, hell yeah. It was wrong, dude. You called the wrong man.
I did. Yeah, you are knee deep in geekdom when it comes to that stuff. I was at the Toys R Us, rest in peace. And I was sitting in there and I saw that thing on the top shelf. It was collecting dust because nobody could afford it. And I was sitting there looking at it and I thought, should I pull the trigger on this thing? It's ridiculous. It's gaudy.
Yeah.
But when I was a little kid, I would have thought that was the coolest thing ever because I collected Star Wars figures, believe it or not. And I could only imagine what I would have thought. And so then I did. But Bryce was like, he treats Star Wars the way I treat Star Wars.
I wonder how that happens. You know, there's times where like, Bryce has the weirdest worldview. I'm like, yeah, I mean, come on, man.
No. You got to understand, as a little kid, I love Star Wars. Tom, I was alive. You were not when Star Wars came out. I went to the theater with my stepdad and stepbrothers to see Star Wars.
Hey, man, I was 13 when The Phantom Menace hit theaters and Liam Neeson's running around with Ewan McGregor. Yeah.
I went to the first, the second, and the third. I know that's not the order of the Star Wars, all that.
That's 5, 6, baby. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. But I loved all of them. I did not like Revenge of the whatever. I did
Return of the Jedi. It was originally Revenge of the Jedi, but they thought that was a little aggressive in the name, so they went with Return over.
Yeah, Revenge is the better name.
It is.
And Empire Strikes Back is still the best one. And I say that as somebody who's not seen any of the other subsequent ones.
Well, I want to know how excited you are for the Bad Batch new season coming out this month.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, really?
It's called the Bad Batch?
Yeah. It's basically clones. The Clone Wars. So these are clones that were they were kind of not deformed, but like mutated, and so they're basically a rogue group that are they pull off. It's basically the A-Team meets Star Wars, essentially, is what it is.
No, I'll probably miss that one, Tom.
Come on, man. They got a guy like Mr. T. His name is Wrecker.
Yeah. Oh, God. Okay. You're going to have to, you know what I didn't know? I didn't realize that Jon Favreau's become the god of all things Star Wars.
But it's Dave Filoni, but Favreau was the front-facing man for Mandalorian, which the first 2 seasons are really good. The third one was dud of duds.
Okay. Well, I have no idea. I've missed them all. We'll come back, wrap it up momentarily. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Orthopedic pain and injury deserves effective treatment options now, so you feel better fast. Whether you have joint pain that won't subside or an urgent orthopedic injury, we are the specialists to get you back on your feet. And there's only one thing better than fast care: expert care. We believe you deserve both. TOC, only experts. Learn more at teamtoc.com.
There's nothing like relaxing in a hot tub after a long day. But if you don't have one, you're truly missing out. Hot tubs and spas have tremendous health benefits, besides just helping you relax. Like improving your sleep, they help with pain relief. They help to better your cardiovascular health, and so much more. And this season is the perfect season to finally buy what you've been wishing for. Pinch a Penny Pool, Patio, and Spas has the hot tubs you need for the price you want. Come shop our huge 12,000 square foot showroom and save today. There's over 50 hot tubs in stock right now, so you won't have to wait weeks on end for that delivery to finally come to town. If you're ready to relax, we're here to show you how. Pinch a Penny Pool, Patios, and Spas. Come visit our huge showroom at 2473 Greer Road with over 50 hot tubs to choose from. You'll be glad you did.
Man, I just got a text from my wife. She wants me to cook dinner and then snuggle on the couch next to a roaring fire.
So what's the problem, Dave? You already got the new grill, and you're a great cook.
I got one major problem. We don't have a fireplace.
Man, that's an easy fix. Just call Hearth and Patio. They got a lot of fireplaces that can help you for your romantic evenings. Wood, gas, electric, and a ton of different sizes, man. Call Hearth and Patio today, 850-727-4282, or visit them online at hearthpatiotallahassee.com. Hearth and Patio. Ignite that spark in your life. I'm Greg Tisch, and I want to share one of my favorite TCC alumni stories. It's been almost 30 years since Charlie Ward led the 1993 FSU football team to its first national championship, won the Heisman, and became the first Heisman winner to play in the NBA. But did you know, like thousands of students before and since, he started his college career at TCC? We are proud to call Charlie Ward one of our own. Today, he serves on the TCC District Board of Trustees, so you might even get to see him around campus.
TCC thanks our community for 58 years of support. We look forward to moving into the future together.
Zaxby's Sensation Salad is so much more than a plain old salad. It's a salad, which begs the question, at what point does a salad stop being a salad and become a salad? Is it when you add Zaxby's fried chicken to it? Crunchy wontons? Asian slaw? Citrus vinaigrette? Teriyaki glaze? Sweet and spicy sauce? Or is it when you top it all with a handmade perfectly fried egg roll? Without a doubt, the egg roll. The Sensation Salad, only at Zaxby's.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
You're not staying at home and you're headed out to a party and you're being asked to bring something, don't forget about our friends at Zaxby's, obviously proud Golden Chief boosters, doing the right thing on behalf of Florida State for over 19 years. Plus, you can't go wrong walking through the door with a big old Zaxby's platters of chicken fingers with the Zax sauce and the Texas toast. Forget about it. Go do it. Zaxby's. There are 67 locations here in Tallahassee. Should make it very easy for you. Go find one of those Zaxby's.
All right. Everybody knows we like to do the over-unders. So over-under 67 receiving yards for George Kittle in the Super Bowl.
Under.
Okay. It's a good number, though.
It's a great number.
Good job by you.
Yeah, it's a great number. I'm going to go under. I think he has 60. But I just think they're going to lean so heavy on the run. Hey, let's have fun with it. Let's give a prediction here before we leave. I think we've kind of hinted at it all week long. I think it's a toss-up Super Bowl. I'm leaning Kansas City to win the game because of current form. San Francisco's form is not that of the team we saw in Week 7, Week 8, Week 9, Week 10. I wish it were, because they would win the game. They were the better team during the course of the season. They haven't played like the better team in the postseason. Kansas City went on the road not once but twice and found a way to get it done. They've got an outstanding defense. I lean KC. My heart is pulling for San Fran. Never thought I'd say that. I used to hate San Francisco back in the day because they won all the time, and I got tired of Joe Montana and all that nonsense. But I'll be rooting for him this time around, and I'll take him to win 24-21.
If this follows the pattern of, and there you go on the under, if this follows the pattern of the Buccaneers Super Bowl, which is the whole week you're looking around saying, how is it possible that this number is this way? The circumstances matter. You know, Kansas City didn't have their tackles. Then the Chiefs are going to win this football game. But if they don't, we're going to go back and say the teach here is that the AFC was overrated the whole way through. The AFC was overrated the whole way through. And if the San Francisco 49ers win this game going away, I'm going to be pissed because that means the Bucs could have won the Super Bowl.
I love that you went there. Oh, man. Hey, good work, brother. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Thanks to everybody out there. You guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the game, and we'll be back with you on Monday. Peace.